Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're back with the Beastmen, going to be facing up against the Dark Elves, so let's go ahead and jump straight to the army compositions. Got Morker for my lord here. He's got all his regular goodies. We've also got a Brave Shaman Lore of Shadows with Enfeebling Foe and Penumbral Pendulum. It's also got the lore attribute Smoke and Mirrors, which honestly I kind of miss the old Smoke and Mirrors where it was just a constant map-wide 6% speed buff. I get why they changed it, but now anytime you cast a spell you get 12% speed map-wide, which is pretty decent honestly. It's one of the better lore attributes in the game in my opinion. Definitely it's one of the reasons why Lore of Shadows is so strong, besides the fact that, it obviously has access to some very strong spells. So the rest of my army is over here. Let's go ahead and take a look. We've got a unit of Minotaurs with shields in the center. The main line is a mix of 3 Gore Herds with shields and 2 Best Gore Herd. We've got a Ungor Spearman Herd with shield up front and 2 more Ungor Spearman Herd with no shields in the back. We've got 2 Centaurs with throwing axes, 2 Centaurs with great weapons, Vanguard deployed up in the opposite forest here, and that's about it. So for my opponent's build, he's got 2 groups of Shades here in Vanguard, front line of Black Ark Corsairs, which are going to be solid against most Beastmen infantry, 2 Lizard Limos, which I like quite a bit. These guys are just a strong all-around unit. They have that 360-degree arc of fire with a nice armor-piercing missile attack. Of course, they do armor-piercing anti-infantry in melee, 110 armor as well, very heavy for a chariot. Malekith is here also on his Lizard Limo, looking very cool as usual. Oh man, beautiful unit model. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he's carrying. So it looks like he's got Soul Stealer, Gaze of Malice, Chillwind, and Power of Darkness, as well as the Destroyer, which is a very, very strong item, probably Malekith's best item. Honestly, all the items Malekith can take in multiplayer are pretty decent. Gaze of Malice, pretty going to be good against Beastmen infantry. Of course, Soul Stealer can help heal him up, so I really like that spell selection. Chillwind doesn't do the most damage, but it can help him escape or catch things with that frostbite. So go ahead and just pop it back into slow motion for just a minute here, and we'll talk about my kind of strange deployment here. So I could, tell you guys that this was some high-level tactics here, that I deployed Morger and this Brave Shaman away from the rest of my army to try and draw my opponent forward, which he is going to do. But unfortunately, that's not actually the case. I actually totally just forgot to deploy Morger with my the rest of my army. I had him in a different control group, and anyway, just forgot to move him over there. So this is going to end up being a little bit advantageous to me in that my opponent is going to start moving this way, and then my Beastman force on the top of the hill in this forest here is going to emerge from the woods. My opponent's going to immediately react and turn to face me, which he should, but that kind of discombobulates his formation a little bit here. I've also got these Centaurs with great weapons on the other side, so you can see all of a sudden my opponent's in a little bit of an ambush situation with Beastmen pouring out of the forest on the far side. You can see Malekith is going in for an early charge, but getting chased by those Minotaurs. And he is going to be taking some armor-piercing damage there. Not too much so far, but I'm just going to stick these Minotaurs on Malekith and just, let them take him down. We're also moving up the Brave Shaman into position here and just kind of encircling with the Centaurs, throwing a few axes at these Cold One chariots, and then also interrupting with the Centaurs with great weapons here. A really nice Penumbral Pendulum just right down my opponent's main line here, just cleaving through these Black Ark Corsairs and doing some damage to these Shades as well. Malekith has been caught, unfortunately, here. These, just getting inundated by the spears and the Minotaurs. This one Minotaur in front of him just kind of got his, got those 2 cold ones just in his armpits, just holding them down. So, pretty good stuff so far. The Brave Shaman's also been pulled in to do some armor-piercing damage to these chariots, although they do armor-piercing as well. Main line engagement has gotten underway here, so Black Ark Corsairs are going to be pretty good against most Beastmen infantry, everything except Bestigor. The Witch Elf on the Death Hag up on her Cauldron of Blood here is a very strong choice against the Beastmen. Causes fear and terror, anti-infantry, has poison, also has the, let's see here, 11% physical resistance for that area of effect, which is very nice. It also has the Fury of Cain, which can give an ally, much increased combat stats, although they do enrage. Frenzy, of course, and yeah, this other ability here, Witch Brew, which you can pop on yourself, gives 26 melee attack, 50% weapon damage, and also causes Rampage, so A lot of different rampage mechanics here. You can see these beasts are already going wild. Hold my Centaurs with throwing axes into melee, and although they are enraged, they're going to go after these shades, which is fine by me. That's a nice high-value target. This Death Hag is going to come in here to this blob of Minos and these Chaos Spawn that just got pulled up from that very tattered unit of Black Art Corsairs there. And this Death Hag is in a bad situation now. She is not going to be able to escape this. She's taking a ton of armor-piercing missile damage. You can see that Witch Brew being popped, although that does enrage her, so she's not going to be able to get away from this situation. Chillwind being popped there, doing some okay damage, but not the most. Especially against heavily armored units, it definitely will struggle. We've managed to deal with this Cold One Chariot okay. Unfortunately, this unit of Centaurs got routed, and this Cold One Chariot came back from routing, so a little bit of a tight situation there. But elsewhere in the battle, we're able to pretty much take down this Death Hag without too much trouble. You can see the Cauldron of Blood with those Witch Elves standing on the back, just cackling. It is getting just circle beaten by Minotaurs and Chaos Spawn, so definitely a bad time for those ladies on there, and it is going to go down. So Cauldron of Blood's down. Next high-value target is Malekith here, so we're going to pull up with the Centaurs and start chucking some axes, although it looks like, unfortunately, they're throwing at these Black Art Corsairs here, who have just come back from routing and are probably going to be immediately shattered by those throwing axes. Oh, man, just pegging them down. Meanwhile, up on this hill, it's a very pitched engagement still. We've got Dread Spears fighting against Gore Herds, Witch Elves, and Black Art Corsairs mixed in here as well, fighting up against some Bestigor also. The Dark Elves do have a pretty nice wrap on me, so my leadership's not going to hold up too well, but, you know, the Minos are in town and going to be pushing up through the hill, trying to get on Malekith. Unfortunately, my opponent's doing exactly what he should, which is just run through his own infantry line. This is going to get a lot of my monstrous units and all my infantry caught up. Although, unfortunately, I did summon this other group of Chaos Spawn right in here. Unfortunately, we didn't block up Malekith like I was hoping to, but it is going to do a ton of shock damage to these Black Art Corsairs here and everything. They're going to be going down in a big hurry. Just that relentless chill win for my opponent, though, trying to come back in the game here. Balance of power is pretty heavily in my favor, although the battle's not quite over yet. You can see these Centaurs with throwing axes. Unfortunately, I did a little bit of miss micro, let them get caught by these Cold One Chariots, but that's okay. We're pushing through over here. This Bray Shaman, I'm not sure where he got off to. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's just been chasing these shades on his chariot. Managed to rack up quite a few kills between that Penumbral Pendulum and, you know, chasing down the shades on his chariot. He's got 72 kills so far, so not too bad. You can see Malekith, though, is just running from the pain train. The Mino bus is coming for him. We're going to catch him with these Centaurs with throwing axes here. Just do a couple quick attack animations and let the Minotaurs also get some attacks in. You can see Malekith's Lizard Limo getting a little bit turned around here. He's going to have to be careful, because he'll take a ton of armor-piercing damage from those Minotaurs. And honestly, Minotaurs with shields, I think, are becoming a unit that I definitely like them. I was playing a little bit of Warhammer 1, actually, recently, just messing around with Norska, and some of the regiments are renowned for the Beastmen and Chaos, and man, I really miss the Minotaur Regiment of Renown. They had shields, they had regeneration, caused fear and terror, and they also looked really cool with those utter belt buckles and kind of the dappled paint scheme. Very cool stuff. I'm super excited for those guys to get added back in alongside Norska, I would assume. Since they all came out with Norska, I'd assume they'd be added back in with Norska. But yeah, at this point, we're just kind of trying to wrap things up. Army losses is going to hit the Dark Elves at that point, so it is going to be a victory for the Beastmen. Well played to my opponent, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. The unintentional ambush definitely paid off there. So definitely some elite tactics there. So Minotaurs honestly did very well. 2 XP chevrons, basically took down that Death Hag and Malekith, so really nice. Both Malekith and the Death Hag, though, picked up pretty substantial amount of kills. This Black Art Corsair, 84 kills is pretty solid, and an XP chevron. 99 kills on the Witch Elves is pretty good as well. Lizard Limos probably didn't quite pay themselves off. Unfortunately, they got inundated by the Centaurs pretty quickly. I think that's going to be the main drawback of Cold One Chariots against the Beastmen, is they have such faster mobility units that they're going to be able to catch you relatively easily. So, something to consider. The Centaurs with great weapons, you know, between their the work they did in melee and the throwing axes, were able to both rack up an XP chevron, so good stuff there. And my infantry did okay. It kind of got mashed up a little bit, but, you know, at the end of the day, they did their job and kind of held their ground, while the specialty units got the work done. So, 79 kills on that Bray Shaman, too, man. Absolute MVP with that early Penumbral Pendulum, and then just a menace on that chariot, you know, running down those shades and so on. Both units of shades, relatively expensive, got shut down without getting too much work done, so that was very critical to my success here. like I said, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this battle. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.